When you spend most of the whole year planning a major event with hundreds of guests, the last thing you want to do is cancel it.
But that's the reality for many local charities that are canceling fundraisers because of COVID-19. Consumer problem solver Connie Thompson found a surprise cancellation success story.
Some good news to share and some tips to share. Charities are scrambling to make huge losses up right now. So I want to share what happened with Upaya Social Ventures last week. Their annual fundraising gala was scheduled for Friday night. On Monday, they had to pull the plug and get creative.
As of Monday morning, we had 225 registered.
CEO Kate Cochran and the team at Upaya Social Ventures just pulled a rabbit out of their hats after having to cancel their only fundraiser of the year.
We started hearing from some guests that they were nervous about coming to a crowded room. And we heard from our keynote speaker who was flying in from India.
In just 4 days, they turned their canceled gala into a virtual gala to try to reach their initial goal of $200,000.
And I have to be honest and say that was really scary.
Following their event program, they had everyone on the program record their presentations by cell phone, dressed for the occasion, including the auctioneer.
We had a message that went out every day for the 4 days of the virtual gala.
Each message, always at noon, included a new video with updates on how things were going, with a big finish saved for the last day.
I really thought $200,000 was going to be a stretch. And by the end of the day on Friday, we had raised $295,000.
It was the best gala Upaya has ever had. So here's their virtual fundraiser action plan. Plan a firm start and end date, and contact your key supporters first to get donations started. Post the virtual details on the charity website. Create different videos with speakers and client success stories, and email different videos daily with updates.
You know, people were sitting in their living rooms because they'd been told to stay in their living rooms, but this was a way they could engage with a community and feel like they were really making a difference.
The Care Center in Kirkland is considered to be the epicenter of our state outbreak, and after a week and a half, the facility's employees are finally being tested for COVID-19. KOMO's Michelle Esteban joins us live from there tonight. Michelle, testing is underway, but they have a long way to go, don't they?
They really do, Eric, and I'll get to that in just a minute. I just want to step out of the way so you can take a look. There were just moments ago 2 aid vehicles here and a 3rd fire and rescue vehicle. We watched as a patient here at the Care Center was loaded into an aid unit just literally less than a minute ago and taken out of here. One of the things that we've been talking about for days now is when employees are going to get tested, and we know that that has begun, but right now just 17% of the employees have been tested.
If she's capable, I'm going to bring her to my house.
A determined and desperate daughter, her 93-year-old mother, one of the 21 residents living at Care Center now battling COVID-19. 11 days into the outbreak, and employees at the epicenter are finally being tested for the deadly virus.
Testing has begun on employees in earnest.
Out of 180 employees, 64 have symptoms of the virus, and so far, 30 have been tested.
It's kind of like shocking.
And no explanation for why so long. And now Wilson is worried if she doesn't bring her mother home, she may not see her again. On Monday, like other families, she saw her mom from outside a facility window.
I just cried because first I was so excited. Oh, at least she can sit in the window. We can just do sign languages or something. You know what I mean? She see me.
But she said her mom, seen here inside the facility where she's lived happily for 2 years, seemed despondent.
I think she's very depressed. She thinks she's not going to make it.
They discourage anyone but essential personnel from going inside. Removing a resident is possible, but a decision to be made on a case-by-case basis.
But I just really need to know.
And there are families like Debbie de Los Angeles, whose mom died on Wednesday, but she said she's still waiting for a cause of death.
I never expected it to be like this.
The feds have sent doctors and nurses to help, but the facility needs more help.
We are short on social workers. That's one of the areas that we've struggled to maintain that level of care.
She looks so sad.
Back out here live, that green vehicle that you see there is for deep cleaning. It arrived about 30 minutes ago, and we understand from the Life Care Center that they will be doing a deep cleaning and that all of the personnel is going to be completely suited up. They say that is normal protocol. Again, when we first came to this broadcast here and brought you out here live, there were some aid vehicles here. They have left. We don't have any details on that patient, but I do want to remind you of the 21 patients or residents that live here that have tested positive for COVID-19. The total is actually 55. And let's always remember that 19 of the 22 deaths in King County have been associated with this facility.
Now know that there are 3 confirmed cases of COVID-19 at Josephine Caring Community in Stanwood.
The facility is home to roughly 136 patients and more than 300 staff. Right now, tests for 5 more residents and 2 workers remain outstanding. KOMO's Kara Kosnich is live in Stanwood with the very latest for us. Kara?
That's right, guys, and those 3 confirmed cases are at area hospitals, while those 5 other residents remain here at the facility in isolation rooms, we're told, with the door closed and window open. Just outside Stanwood's Josephine Care Community, a family member dropping off an item for a loved one inside. After 3 confirmed cases of coronavirus, the facility is on lockdown and visitors are no longer allowed.
We have to isolate, and it's safety first.
CEO Terry Robertson says the facility is now restricting new admissions and discharges, with the exception of transfers to acute care hospitals. Also, all group activities and group dining for residents has been suspended. Staff are also conducting checks for patients every 4 hours, and employees are checked daily for symptoms before they enter the building. Meanwhile, Robertson says the facility's learning center, which hosts a preschool and a daycare, has stopped interactions with the nursing home.
And we did have intergenerational activities, but we stopped that about 2 weeks ago.
But today, local grandmother Ginny C. told us her grandson, who attends preschool here, developed a fever a couple of days ago.
He was tested, my daughter just told me, for the coronavirus, and so now he is quarantined for 3 days until they get the test results back.
The 4-year-old grandma says hasn't been in class since last week. Tonight, she's praying he has some sort of bug and hasn't been exposed to COVID-19.
You just don't think that any of that stuff can hit your family. I mean, it's even just being tested for it is just kind of like takes your breath away.
Law enforcement agencies are doing their part to prevent the spread of coronavirus by closing their lobbies and substations. They're trying to limit the amount of interaction they have with the public.
KOMO's Nick Popham reports on some of the things officers are doing to help curb coronavirus.
When you see that countdown and that red hand flashing at you, a lot of the job of being a police officer means working with the public. Whether it's serious or non-life threatening, many of the officers in Western Washington are being extra precautious when it comes to dealing with people.
I think officers are washing their hands a lot more.
Captain Mike Johnson with Bothell Police says their department shut down their lobby to limit contact with the public. He says officers there are still working normally, but are fully stocked with hand sanitizer, gloves, and masks.
We're trying to take more phone reports. We're encouraging folks to do more online crime reporting.
But if needed, the police will be at an emergency.
We're trying really hard to stay on top of the recommendations from King County Public Health and the CDC.
And that's the same with many of the agencies in the area. Some, like the city of Kirkland, have quarantined firefighters and police officers that had gone to the Life Care Center when this outbreak began. Others are just trying to stay prepared should it get worse in their cities.
We're not having as close contact unless it's a situation of an emergency.
Meeghan Black with Bellevue PD says the only major changes in their department was closing substations at the Crossroads and Victoria shopping plazas. Other than that, their personnel are staying fully equipped with gear that will protect them from infected people.
The fire department will be triaging any and all calls and then letting officers know if they need to don that protective gear.
As this virus continues to spread, Black says the department will continue to make adjustments if needed.
Right now, thankfully, though, we're in really good shape here in Bellevue.